Hello and welcome to my cooking channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make my own version of a custom-made tuna korma. Now, not a lot of people have made tuna korma. In fact, I don't know anyone who's ever made tuna korma. It's been told to me as a recipe that you should make. Now, this might be because people find the whole prospect of tuna korma not very nice. Start off, pot of water, yeah, and we are going to boil the water. I tend to boil it as I go along rather than throwing pasta into boiled water because it's not real pasta, shop bought pasta. I'm just going to make it as easy for you as I possibly can. Okay, so I've got a colourful pasta today, vegetable pasta. In fact, you can use any pasta. I'm just using this because it's easy. I'm throwing that in. You say how much? I would say 2 people would be the equivalent of a mug of pasta. So that's about right. So while that's boiling away, we can now do the next section, which is another pot and tuna. So canned tuna is fine. This is purely a recipe for people who are on the go, people who want a quick meal that's very healthy for you to some degree, and also easy to make. Okay, so it's tuna in sunflower oil. The reason why I have that is because sunflower oil is easiest for me. It's tastiest. I really enjoy sunflower oil tuna. Right, so here we go. Putting this straight in the pan. I drain away most of the sunflower oil. I just leave a little bit just for the taste. Also, sunflower oil speeds up the cooking time, so that's useful. You can use tuna in water. I wouldn't use tuna in brine because I don't like the taste of it myself. If you're a big fan of brine, you might find that works for you. It may not work with the sauce, but you can experiment. That's the advantage of doing this. But I've experimented for you, and I can tell you I don't think brine works. So, next bit of tuna. I use 2 cans. I basically would say a can per person. So if you've got a family of 4 adults, then that would be 4 cans. Okay, that's the best way of doing the ratio. There's 2 of us, so I'm doing 2 cans. Pour this in. I'm using today Lloyd Grossman korma sauce. However, I would also recommend any korma sauce. I've even used supermarket bought korma sauce. It doesn't matter which one. They all, as long as they taste like korma sauce, they all work with this recipe. Right, so like the next one, I like the smaller one because this is the big one. It's going to cook fast, and this is the smaller one I want to cook slow. Right, hold on. Let's forget which way around this goes. Okay, so I need a spoon. Didn't think of that. So this is live, so things work as you normally would in the kitchen. If you forget a utensil, you still have to wash one up quickly. Okay, and here we are with the wooden spoon. The wooden spoon, I use wood because it doesn't stick easy to the pan. You don't end up with the scraping noises of using it against the pan. You want this korma sauce to heat up okay. You don't want it to heat up quickly, so I put it on a very low heat. I leave it there for now. Because it's going to be universally moved across, I don't mind using the same spoon to stir the pasta as I do stir the korma. It works really well. So now that gets going, okay? Now, Tuna korma is not common, and the reason why is because people think naturally in their head fish and korma doesn't go well together, but people use king prawn korma. They don't have a problem with that. I haven't seen cod korma, but I'm pretty certain you can use it. It's just a sauce. It works well. In fact, you don't need to add anything. You don't need to add any extra vegetables or any spices or anything. You've got to make it work. So that's now boiling. That's not boiling because it's just warming up very, very slowly, and that I'm only doing that because I wanted to eke out so that it actually is ready to serve at the same time. So this is the opportunity I use now to wash some dishes. So you can watch this thing boiling while I'm off. It's only going to take 30 seconds. There we go. It's cooking. Boiling. The pasta's getting higher. In a moment it'll be a matter of turning it down. And you only turn it down halfway. You can't see this, but it's halfway on the heat, just to keep that simmering at the top and not overflowing. Korma sauce is now bubbling, so I need to stir that so it doesn't stick or burn. Okay, so I can keep that going for a second. Here we go. Got to get the korma sauce to the point where it's just hot. So just keep an eye on things. Don't walk away for too far. Don't miss it. Okay. There are other things to be done still. So stirring that again. There's some of those have stuck to the bottom because I left it for a while. So that's okay now. Right. So cheese time. There you go. Get a little plate to put the cheese on. Work in a very small kitchen, so we have to keep reusing the plates over and over for different things. No worries there. Here we go. Right. This now I need to take the heat off because this will end up boiling over, and actually because you can feel the heat, you know that that sauce is actually cooked. Okay, all we're waiting for now is the pasta to finish off. The pasta takes like 8 to 10 minutes to cook, so it's not going to be far now. Cheese. And with the cheese you can have it in thick grates or thin grates, whatever you fancy. I prefer to use thick grates, but on this occasion I'm choosing thin. Okay, and you can grate as little or as much cheese as you fancy. There is no rule on this, but the more cheese you have, the more flavoursome it becomes, so it's very nice. Sometimes at this point, if I'm doing thick grated cheese, I would add the cheese into the korma sauce itself to give a thicker consistency than as it is right now. But on this occasion I'm going to sprinkle over the top because I haven't got as much cheese as I normally would have. I would say maybe 100 grams of cheese should do it. I sometimes use 250 grams of cheese. But I'm not losing weight, so that's alright. Cheese really brings out the flavour of the sauce. People will be surprised how much cheese affects the korma sauce taste. Just put that on top. Doesn't matter if it's not completely slim in the way the cheese works, it's just there to melt when it comes on top anyhow. Right, I'm just going to taste one of these pastas to see how they taste. Okay. pasta's good. Right. Now, it's good. Slightly, maybe about 30 seconds more, just to get it soft all the way through. Even though it was good, there was a tiny taste of solidness at the very end. So now I make the plates. Bear with me. Right. So, korma sauce, pasta, it's all good. Right. So, what I'm doing now is I'm just sieving the water out of the pasta. Okay, so I can put a little bit on the plate. There we go. Try and make them even. Okay. Right, now it's the sauce. Just check that the sauce is still hot. Yeah. Right, so I didn't eat it, I just tested it. Okay. So I pour that on so it's even on both sides. Yeah. It may not look the nicest looking sauce in the world to go with the pasta, but it tastes amazing. And now the presentation of the cheese. So a nice sprinkle of cheese on the top, like that, and like that. It melts very quickly, so you want to get lots of cheese, as much as you can, sitting on the top, so that when you actually provide it, there's still some cheese showing. Okay, balance it out, there we go. Right, so, and here it is, okay? Tuna korma with cheese. Beautiful.